Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Unfuck Yourself podcast. I'm very excited today because, as you may have heard, we have completely blown up the business. What does that mean? That means every single course is wiped off the website. You can no longer get it. If you missed the last chance to get the course extravaganza on Instagram, we were sharing that on Instagram stories a few days ago. You had like 3 days, and then I think we added a fourth to get, or maybe we had 2 days and then we added a third to get the courses. And now they are totally gone for good. We are doing that because everything that I do anyway comes back to self-image and intuition. Like any course I ever teach, I always end up rooting it back to self-image or intuition anyway. So we are full blown just focusing in on a lot of self-image stuff. We are your the UIA membership is not UIA, oh my gosh, the UI membership, then fuck yourself membership is the first to know this, but we are actually doing a brand new glow formula level 1 where I will be teaching it live. And that's fun because I thought the most recent glow formula that I recorded was like, oh my God, this is the best of the best. Then, naturally in Allie's nature, I hate everything because it's 3 months later and I like know so much more. So I'm like, we've got to redo it. And we are going to be redoing it live over Zoom. So whoever joins it will be joining it and I will be teaching live over Zoom. And you'll get to be sitting in on it. Even if you were in the first glow formula, this is going to be a completely brand new, different course. But if you were in the first glow formula, don't worry, you will get like a very, very, very discounted price on it. So you're like just getting an added bonus to your glow formula that you've already got. That being said, it's not anything that we're like putting out yet. It's just something that I know that I want to do. We're kind of going to just do some prereq podcasts, do some stuff for it first, and then we'll kind of see where everyone's at once everyone's like locked in, ready to get to that next like elite level of self-image healing. Then we will see where we're at and we will do that glow level 1 again. So in spirit of kind of going into a self-image era, we will be going into self-image related to all the things, to relationships, to body, to self-love, to finances, self-image with career, self-image with anything. And then also, of course, we still do have our intuition courses and levels because that is like my one of my favorite things to do and teach. And we have our team intuitives teaching that. And of course, with intuition, you've got to have dark forces. But the only difference now with dark forces is that it's application only. I knew that would happen eventually once just more people find the community and more people find and take a liking to this work. Dark forces is for a very special type of human, and it can be very triggering topics in there. And also, just with some things coming up in the community and that kind of thing, it's just important we keep that application only so that we can kind of intuitively vet who's ready for that. So Dark Forces is still available. It's highly encouraged to anyone in the intuition courses. You can't really have one without the other. And everyone else, it would be application only for. So we still have our dark forces, we still have intuition, and we still have our all glow things and all self-image things, but every other course has been completely taken off the website. So that being said, today I want to go into self-love. And who here has heard I did a free pop-up webinar the other week on self-love and what it actually is and that kind of thing. If you missed that, it's inside the membership. So you guys can go access it in here in the membership. If you're listening to this post membership recording, that is in the membership. When I do free webinars, you have access to it for like 48 hours and you can get in for free and you can watch live for free and be in live for free and you can watch it 48 hours pass. But once those 48 hours pass, it lives inside the Unfuck Yourself membership. So if you missed it and you're in here, watch that. It's so good. It's kind of going to be like a prereq to this episode. But so we do all things on that of like what self-love actually is versus like what the spiritual world will tell you it is. And how we don't want to be like the selfish version of self-love and kind of like the source perspective of self-love and how to communicate in a way that is self-love and putting yourself first. That is all in there and it lives inside the membership. So you can go access and watch that anytime if you're in the membership, which you guys here live are. Now, today, what I want to talk about is people. Now, I might contradict, I might sound contradicting, but let me explain. Give me a second to explain. So, people with self love, they tend to think, okay, I am totally cool as I am. I don't have to, do anything different in my life because I'm perfect. And while it's true that you are perfect on a soul level, and the human actions you're taking are perfect because it's getting you to your highest alignment, yes. While that's true, there's also a possibility that you could be sleeping on yourself by telling yourself that statement, right? It's kind of like the whole era we're in of body positivity. Like, yes, love your body. Yes, see the perfection in wherever it's at right now, but not using that as an excuse to actually be unhealthy and actually hurt yourself in like an unhealthy way, right? We see it everywhere, like body positivity, but then it can kind of get used as an excuse to live an unhealthy lifestyle and actually really be hurting yourself and keeping yourself from your fullest potential of what your body's capable of doing. Self love, true, 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 deep self love is going, okay, I'm where I'm at. It's perfect. It's great. It's all showing me something. And and I know I'm capable of more. And that self love is to push yourself to the highest potential in each area of life that you are capable of. Again, I'm going to bring up the body positivity thing. Again, that can be triggering for some people. But self love and self respect isn't just like accepting where you're at, it's accepting where you're at and going, and I know I'm capable of way more. What do I need to do to get there? Right. So it's not like shitting on yourself or feeling guilt or shame or being like, oh, I should have done this or I should have done that different or comparing yourself or that kind of thing. It's going, okay, I see the perfection in where I'm currently at right now, whether it's with my body, whether it's with my career, whether it's with my finances, my relationship, my how I view myself, whatever. I see the perfection in where I'm at. But we don't just stop there, right? What happens is people will kind of stop. They're not even at seeing the perfection really, but just kind of accepting where they're at and just like accepting like, okay, this is just like how it is. And in the name of self-love, like it's another spiritual matrix thing. It's like self-love is accepting where you're at and then not doing anything about it. Like just accept where you're at. And if it's like shit and you know you're capable of more, well, fuck it. Don't try and do that. Just accept where you're at and just love yourself anyway, because you should just accept where you're at and love yourself. Yes. And on top of that, the formula is accept where you're at, see the perfection in it and like what it's all taught you. Also, while going, and this is teaching me that I actually am capable of creating way, way, way more. And I'm capable of doing way more and being the best of the best in my version, in your version of the best at this thing. So, for example, since we brought it up with the body positivity things that have gone around, right? Yes, let's say you made choice after choice after choice, and eventually you find yourself really, really uncomfortable in your body, right? You find yourself really, really uncomfortable and you just know your body is not as healthy as it could be, right? Instead of just going, oh, body positivity, like I'm just going to love myself as I am and not do anything about it. It's I'm going to love myself as I am, yes, but I actually love myself so fucking much that I want to do what it takes to get to the highest alignment in my physical form that I could possibly be, right? Self-love isn't just accepting where you're at, it's putting in the work and effort that you deserve to get yourself to your highest potential of what your body is capable of. Same thing with finances, right? Like, oh, like I'm making like okay money, but I'm kind of gonna just like settle. Like it's kind of like not believing you deserve more or you should have more, right? It's kind of like, okay, like I made like a good amount of money. I really want to do this thing, but like whatever, I'll just accept this, right? No, it's I'll accept and see the perfection in where I'm at. And also, plus, I am going to learn and find the tools and grab everything I possibly can and implement everything I possibly can to get myself to access new levels of high financial knowledge or more money coming in, right? Self-love is isn't just accepting where you're at. It is knowing you're capable of way more than you've created in every single area of life. And it is committing to yourself to do those things for yourself. Because if you don't commit to yourself, how are you going to expect anyone to commit to you? If you only commit to yourself, let's say if I clocked your energy, right? You know how I read things like 0 to 100% scientifically with intuition. Let's say I clocked you at, okay, on average in your life, you are only committing to yourself 7% because you're just kind of accepting where you're at everywhere else. That means that other people can quite literally only commit to you 7%. That's it. They can't, they literally, physically, scientifically, metaphysically cannot commit to you any more than 7% because you are not committing to yourself any more than 7%, right? Let's say you only have 12% of self respect, of respecting yourself that, like, yes, this is perfect where I am, seeing the perfection. And also, I know that I'm capable of more. Let's say we're not doing the and also part and we're just kind of going, okay. And usually, if you're not doing the and also part, you're not fully in love with your situation. You've just kind of accepted it, right? You haven't really seen the perfection. You're just kind of accepting where you're at and just going, oh, well, this is as good as it gets, kind of thing. Even though you may feel like I have deeper desires in this, I have deeper pulls to this, but you're ignoring them or you're sleeping on yourself, that would be just kind of like accepting where you're at. Self love is going, no, bitch, I have a pull. I'm at somewhere and I know I'm capable of so much more than this. I see the perfection where I'm at. I see how it's helping me up level. And I'm going to take all the ways I see how it's helping me up level and I'm going to use them to actually up level. Very different, that mentality versus I'm just going to accept where I am. Like, this is as good as it gets, whatever. Ignore soul pull, ignore pull, ignore pull, ignore pull. Do a bunch of things, scroll through TikTok to keep ignoring your pull. Compare yourself to everyone on TikTok to keep ignoring your pull, right? And what self love isn't is sitting there and scrolling through TikTok, and maybe you're on fitness TikTok, who here has gotten sucked down the fitness TikTok rabbit hole, right? Where one person tells you to lift weights and go on walks. The next person tells you wait. So the first person tells you the weights make you skinny, lift weights. The next person tells you don't lift weights, they'll make you bulky, go on walks and do Pilates. The next person tells you mix Pilates and weights. The next person tells you fuck all that, walk. The next person tells you to get the fuck on Ozempic. The next person tells you Ozempic's bad for you. And you're just down a fucking fitness rabbit hole now. Who here has been there? Right? So everyone's like me. So then what happens is you get so overwhelmed and you're like, fuck this. I'm just like accepting where I'm at. Okay. So now you're accepting where you're at. And now instead of actually accessing and following your specific pulls to get your specific goal, health, and goal body, now instead of doing that, you've gotten so fucking overwhelmed that you're just accepting where you're at. But now you're still, the problem is you're still on fitness TikTok and now you're comparing yourself. And now you're like, wow, I wonder why I don't look like these people, but I've only tried things for 1 week. I've tried things for 1 week and then I've stopped. So I wonder why I'm not like, well, because you've tried things for 1 week and then you stopped. Actual tangible change. You need to be willing to do something for 10 years and not see one single fucking result for 10 years. Like, it's not your fault, but you have been put into a society where Amazon comes in 2 fucking days. So if you don't get something in 2 fucking days, you say, fuck this, it doesn't work, abandon ship, bye. You're on to the next thing, whether it's with a money idea, whether it's with a career idea, whether it's with a fitness idea, right? We can't be doing it because any kind of actual, tangible, long-term change comes from commitment to yourself, doing it every single day, all of the time. And that is self love and that is self respect. Self love is putting in the time and commitment to yourself to make the things happen, not accepting where you're at in the name of self love, even when you have a pull to do more. The spiritual matrix will make you think, no, just have self love. Be really, 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 really unhealthy and then have self love and then just stay there and don't fucking do anything about it because you're spiritual. I want to throw up with that stuff, right? Like you don't need money. Like you don't need money. Just accept where you're at. Like it's perfect. Yeah, it's perfect where you're at. And if you have a pull for more, that means you're capable of more, and not taking action on that pull is sleeping on yourself. It's fucking your self-love levels. It's fucking your commitment levels. Especially there's a lot of people out there who want the quick fix, who want the quick things. And you know what? They're never successful. I see them fail in business all the time. I see them fail in their body goals all the time. I see them fail in their financial goals all the time because they do something for a fucking month and then they want results. And when they don't get these big ass results, they're like, no, it's not meant for me. I'm going to go cry in a corner. No, you have to be willing to do something for 10 fucking years, 10 fucking years and get zero results and know that one day you're going to get fucking results. Not that you have to because you have way better tools than having to take 10 years to do something, but that needs to be your mentality. That is true, like commitment to yourself. Because if you're sleeping on yourself in any area of life, you are going to create other people sleeping on you. People aren't going to want to buy what you're fucking selling. People aren't going to want to give you the raise. People aren't going to want to have your business ideas, like help with them. People aren't going to want to pay you. People aren't going to want to date you. People aren't going to want to take you on dates when you've been married to them for 30 years, right? If your level of commitment to yourself is 21%, you're going to get 21% of commitment from other people. Your relationship's going to commit to you 21%. Your friends are going to commit to you 21%. Your people buying what you're selling are going to commit to buying what you're selling 21%. Your boss is going to commit to you 21%. They'll fire you. They don't care about you. They have no commitment to you because you don't have a commitment to yourself. Sorry, this is a tough love episode today. I've had this talk with myself many times, if you can't tell. So, we've got to take our hand, put it in our brain, and pull out all the fucking things of like a quick fix. We live in a world of Ozempic, of you get your Amazon thing in 2 days. You know what happens with Ozempic? People get off of it and they gain 2 times the weight back, or they go blind, or they have thyroid problems, or they have some kind of fucking now other health problem because they took Ozempic, right? That's what happens. Anyone who has made a fuck ton of money within a year or 2 years of building their business lasts maybe 5 years, maybe 10 years tops. It is not long term, it is not sustainable. So you're out here comparing yourself to, everyone online who's saying, make $2 million in 3 months, like take my course. And what people aren't telling you is that that's not how it works. It's not how it works. And if that's how it worked for them, they're going to have a crash and burn in 2 fucking minutes as well. Long-term sustainable, putting your effort in and not expecting a dime for it is the way to go because eventually it pays off. The more value you give, the more value you give, the more value you give. Now I'm going on to like a career example, but in career, the more value you give and the more you show up and the more you just provide and give value, the more you're going to slowly but surely build the career that you want, whether it is you're working for someone, show up 100%, even if you're not getting paid for that right away, because you know what's going to happen. You're going to show up 100% and then they're going to want to fucking pay you more. We live in a world where we think we can like half-ass things and that we just expect people to pay us for like no fucking reason. It's not how it works. Any successful long-term entrepreneur has like eaten shit so many fucking times and now they're billionaires. The guy who owns First Form, his name's Andy, I forget his last name, but he owns First Form, Andy something. some like Italian last name. I always remember Italian last names because I'm like, you're one of me. Like I get you. This are like passionate, fiery, like Italian man. I'm like, I understand you. Anyway, I was listening to a thing about I never listened to like a lot of podcasts really, but there was a podcast that like popped up on my podcast app. And I was like, my intuition was like, you need to listen to this. So I listened and it was Andy, whoever, it starts with an F, the owner of CEO of or creator of First Form, the athletic fitness brand. And he was talking about how he Frisella, yes, Frisella, thank you, where he was living in his like supplement shop in the back for 10 years and they literally didn't make a dollar. Like they literally, he didn't even get paid himself. He didn't personally get paid until literally 10 years into the business. Now he's a billionaire. And he talks about how it doesn't get any easier. And so you have to be like, we need to ask ourselves, like, why am I doing something, right? Am I doing something to just like make all this money to like go lay on the beach so I don't have to like make money and have purpose anymore? But is that actually self-love? Is that what you really want? Or is that what like you've just heard on Instagram that's cool to have? Is that what you, I don't think anyone in this room, honestly, would feel purpose if all you did was lay on a beach. Like, I'm sorry, you guys are way too elite. I'm sorry. But you're like way too fucking talented to go like lay on a beach the rest of your life. Laying on a vacation's great. Like sign me the fuck up to go to Cabo, you know, sign me up to go to Hawaii. Sign me up. Like I'm going to Bora Bora for my honeymoon. Like sign me up. Right. And will I like do much work that week? Probably not. But if I had to commit, there's a bug in here. But if I had to commit to the rest of my life to literally just lay on a beach, I would feel so purposeless. I would get so bored. I would get probably sick because I feel purposeless. And I would have so many fucking reflections. And I feel like every one of you in here or listening to this or who's felt called to listen to this is probably the same way. But you have been brainwashed and group mind virused by social media by people of social media who say get paid to lay on a beach, make millions of be a millionaire in 3 months of starting your business, right? And not that that's impossible, that can happen, but at what cost and how long is that business going to go on for? Right? Maybe they're lying about what they've made, maybe they're not. And if they're not lying about it, I'd be real curious to see how long they have the drive, motivation, and tenacity to keep going the second something gets hard, or the second they can't figure out something, or the second their business dips, right? I saw someone, and I think it was, I want to read the comments. I think Rebecca said something about after she made her first million, and now I'm not going to be able to find it because I'm trying to find it because that's what always happens. Let me see here. I'm scrolling, I'm scrolling, I'm scrolling. I'll find it eventually. Oh, I see her new one. Now we're building sustainably with self love. But before that, she said something to the extent of, oh, right here. I crashed so hard after my first $1 million year. Yes, that's what happens if we don't build that sustainably at first, right? I hit my first over $1 million year, but it was over $1 million year last year. And your girl's been doing this since I've been 19 years old, right? So that is like 9 years. That is 9 years, right? I started the business. I was training in this since I've been 19. I started the business. I started doing readings for people when I was like 23, like was charging for readings when I was 23. And even that is still like 5 years into something sustainable. My first sessions, I was charging $75 for on my living room fucking floor. People think they can just go out in the world and charge a bajillion dollars for like this new service they're offering and expect people to pay for it. It could be worth that. It could. My intuition was for sure worth more than 75 bucks an hour, even at that time. But people don't know you yet. They don't trust you. Like how you can't just expect someone to trust you. You've got to earn their trust. So there's a lot of things out there of like just just don't do any work and just self-love and you'll get what you want. No, self-love is the building blocks and is taking those tangible actions every single day, both energetic by connecting to your ingredients, by doing the inner work, and both physical. So I really want to, because what can fuck us the most is when we think it's easy to get things. There's going to be a lot of manifestation people out there who tell you just just feel like it's easy to get it. Just feel like it's easy to get it. And truly, true genius, true mastery, it's not easy. It can be fun. It can be rewarding. I find a lot of fun in it, but it's not easy. The higher self path is the hardest path you could possibly fucking take. So what's happened is everyone tells you, oh, you can go create whatever you want in 1 year. It's so easy. Well, then what happens? You take the course, you don't create what you want in 1 year, you don't go be a billionaire in 1 year. And now what happens? You're defeated. You're defeated. And now you're like, well, fuck, I'm just going to accept where I'm at because this didn't work. You weren't set up for it to work. You weren't set up for success. Nobody told you there's actual building blocks and there's actual things that are going to take time. I had a live in-person free workshop in Dallas on Saturday. If anyone was here for that, who's in here? I know Rebecca was in here. If anyone else was here, let me know. Jackson here, Jacqueline. Um, and I remember saying to them, I was like, Heather was here. Yes. I remember saying to them, I'm like, you guys, like, you're going to feel really good in this workshop and then you're going to go out into the world and you're probably going to feel worse because you're probably going to get more reflections because they're going to be in your face now that you have the tools to deal with them. And that's just what's going to happen. But that helps you grow. You have things come up that you then start to learn how to deal with them with the correct tools. And then you deal with them and then you up level yourself, right? Shit gets blown up before it gets better. So what happens is we're in this like age online of like the TikTok comes up and it's like manifest everything you want in 3 minutes, and then you do their little tool and then it didn't work or it worked for like a week and then it stopped working and you're like, fuck, I'm messed up. It didn't work. I didn't manifest everything I wanted in 3 minutes. And it's because it's not going to fucking work. Like maybe it'll work for you for today or for an hour or for next week or for maybe even a month. But that quick fix is not what you should be striving for. Real, true self-love is striving to build brick by brick the best version of yourself in every single area of life. That is true self-love. That is true self-respect. And that is true self-commitment. And when you have high levels of self-love, of prioritizing yourself, right? Of self-respect and of self-commitment, well, what's going to happen? Now you're going to have high levels of other people mirroring and acting that out back to you. If you have just accepted that you're not going to get what you want in career, it's as good as you're going to get. Well, how we do one thing in one area of life is how we do everything in every area of life. So that's as good as it's going to get in relationship. That's as good as it's going to get in finances. That's as good as it's going to get in physical health. That's as good as it's going to get mentally for you. It's as good as it's going to get. When you start pushing yourself in one area of life and start committing to yourself more there, it will automatically start to domino effect and pour over into other areas of life and self-commitment into those areas of life. When me and Justin first started dating, and up until even now, he gets annoyed with me sometimes, not really anymore. It was probably up until like a year and a half, 2 years ago, because he's like on a very like deep work inner journey too now. But he would get annoyed with me because he would think that I was always trying to find a problem when I wasn't trying to find a problem. I was just always trying to make our relationship the best it could be. So even if we were like good, I'd be like, okay, great, we're good. It's time to fucking grow. I never settle for just good, right? Like I'm like, yeah, it's cool, but like, here's another thing we can implement. Here's another thing. He would take it as why is something always wrong? Like, why can't we just like be good? And I'm not saying that. I'm saying, yeah, we're good and we can be better and we can get like the best of the best at this. And maybe eventually, if we ever do master it, we can teach it at some point, you know? And I'm like, I want to be the best of the best woman in a relationship. Like, I want you to be the best of the best man in a relationship because I just have this drive to want to be the best at being at what I do. And what people don't realize, and this is kind of a gateway into what our podcast episode is going to be next podcast, which on Thursday for you guys in just a few days. But we are so special. Each and every single one of us is insanely special. So that means that you can be the best of the best at being you, and no one else ever, ever, ever can reach or attain that. Right. So it's really hard for people to accept that they are special. And you're not just like 1 in 1 million special or 1 in 10 million special. You're 1 in 8 billion people special. 8 billion people of the world and the population. You are one of 8 billion people special. That may trigger you, that reaction that you might have just had in your body as I said that, right? Because it maybe you can feel like you might be special in a group, or you might be special in a class you're in, or you might be special in like a school you're in, or whatever it is, or even in a group of 100,000 people. But 1 in 8 billion people special may feel hard to connect with and know right now. And it makes sense because when people start to understand why they think, feel, or do things, it becomes so much easier to undo those damaging causes. And we're going to get to that in the next episode of like getting you to unlock your brain and see how special you really are. Right. But I want you to start to even think about with this question, could you without hesitation say you are special and that you are uniquely special in a way that nobody else could ever compete with? If the answer is no, I don't feel like that in a way that no one else out of 8 billion people could ever compete with, there are potentials that you are missing every single day that you have because you've decided that you're not 1 in 8 billion people special. So therefore, you've decided I'm going to sleep on myself. And even if you're like, no, Allie, like I don't sleep on myself, again, you probably are somewhere in some. I find where I'm sleeping myself every day, at least 10 times a day. So if your ego wants to say, no, I'm not sleeping on myself, I don't need this episode, that's a telling sign that you need this episode more than someone who's not saying that. Someone who's accepting that they're sleeping on themselves versus someone saying, no, I'm not. The person saying, no, I'm not probably needs this more than the person who's accepting that they're sleeping on themselves. That is the ego's number one sign that we've hit the nail on the head here of something that you need to hear. I find ways every day in every area of my life that I'm sleeping on myself, right? Because if we can't connect to, I am 1 in 8 billion fucking people special, and we aren't taking the actions in every fucking area of life and seeing the reasons why in every area of life to feel that, we are sleeping on ourselves somehow, some way. True self-love is noticing that, recognizing how your situation is perfect right now. Because in order to change something, we have to see the perfection. That's step one of the formula. But we don't just stop there. Step two of the formula is going, okay, and where are my pulls? Where are my intuitive pulls pulling me? And what can I add in to access those new levels that I'm getting pulled to? How can I commit to myself? Am I willing to commit to myself for 10 fucking years for this with no results? And that's the mentality. Not that you have to go 10 years with no results because we have tools to speed it up, but you have to be willing to do that. That has to be the mentality that is embodied. Everyone in here or listening to this has a pull and calling to be the best. You guys all do. Like, let's just admit it now. You all want to be the best at what you do, right? So if you want to be the best, who has made you the best in sports? Was it the coach who was like, gold medal for everyone? Or was it the coach who was like, hey, Allie, you can actually do that better? right? Who made you the best? It was the coach who loved you so much that they were willing to call you out, not just the one who was like, gold medal for everyone, everyone be happy, right? When I used to teach a lot of dance when I was a pro dancer. I taught so many young girls dance and I fucking loved it because I was like, I'm gonna take you and I'm gonna make you a star dancer. And I would be very hard on them, not in a way of like being critical or mean, but in an empowering way of going, I know you can get that leap higher. I know you can do 8 turns instead of 6. I know that you can. Okay, Abby Lee Miller. Just call me Abby Lee. I'm screaming. Like, I know you can do more of that. I know you can do that better. And I would work with them and make them do the leap until their legs were actually fully extended in the leap. I wouldn't just give up on them, right? Because if you know that someone or yourself is not accessing their fullest potential, the key is to not give up on yourself and continue every day, just brick by brick, like plugging away. Think of it as like a scale, like you know those scales that measure things. And over here on the right side, there's a bunch of pieces of salt. And over here on the left side, there's nothing. And so the scale's like this right now. Like the right side's way higher, the left side's at the bottom because or no, hold on. Yeah, no. It would be the opposite. It would be the opposite. Sorry, math brain. The side with the salt's at the bottom, the side with nothing on it is at the top, right? Because the salt is weighing down the scale. You've got to think of whatever you want in life as taking one piece of salt at a time and putting it to the other side. It's not going to move. The scale's not going to move. The second piece of salt is not going to move it. The third piece of salt's not going to move it. If there's like a lot of pounds of salt over here, the 10,000th piece of salt is not going to move the fucking scale. But eventually, you'll keep building it salt by salt, and eventually the scale will tip. And eventually you are going to shift and change your entire reality. Now, when you see things happen fast, it's not because they happen fast. It's because that person put years of work in before. They implemented one new ingredient, and that one new ingredient, plus all the other ingredients that they've been putting in for years, was the key to unlock the thing happening, right? Michaela, one time, reached it when she was still doing her own business. She reached out to me. She was like, hey, I'm at a financial plateau. Like, I can't figure it out. But prior, she's been working on this stuff for 3 years nonstop. She's very dedicated and committed to her work. So when I found and pinpointed the thing that was like the financial block, I gave it to her. She implemented it. The next day, her income went up 7,000% in less than 24 hours. That's not because she did nothing and then just did one thing and she got that. It was because she did 3 fucking years of something all day, every day, committed to it, and then reached out for the right resources, reached out to the person that she knew was going to be able to help her, took action on her pull to ask, and got the right information, got the right tool, plugged that in. That was the missing piece. Then boom, it happened, right? Not because she didn't do anything and then just one day overnight she did one thing and it happened, because she did shit for 3 fucking years and then had the pull, followed the pull, got the tool, and then had it happen. So it is a commitment to yourself. When anything looks like it happened overnight, it either did, and it's a pendulum swing where who's heard that episode before, right? Where the pendulum is like going one way and it's going like get rich quick overnight. And then if it swung one way really fast, it has to swing the other way and you're going to lose it all in a matter of a few years. It happens with celebrities all the time. The Justin Biebers of the world, they got to fame really, really, really quick. Now look what's happened. Like completely unwell, right? Going through a lot of shit. Something always has to happen with the pendulum swing. So either they did actually have the success overnight and then it's like, where the fuck are they now? Or where will they be? Or just like waiting for the shoe to drop. Or it looks like it happened overnight, but plot twist, it actually didn't. And you missed out on the 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years of work they did before the thing happened. So it's so easy to drop pieces of self love and self commitment and self respect when we, there's an Amazon truck outside my house right now. It's like a paid actor. I was just about to talk about the Amazon truck. Um, it's so easy to drop those levels of self love and self respect and putting yourself first when we are just like, oh, it's just like, not, I'm just going to accept where I am. I'm just going to love where I'm at and then do nothing about any other motivation or pull that you have ever. That is not self love. That is sleeping on yourself. Self love is committing to the pulls you have and making them happen energetically and physically and doing it day in and day out, like relentlessly until you get what you want. Like your goal is you should be wanting to get called crazy. That should be the goal. Like have the goal to get called crazy and then you're doing it. If people aren't calling you crazy, you are not relentlessly following your soul pull. The goal is to be called crazy. Everyone was calling me fucking nuts for stocking up for the World War, the Civil War, the past 2 years. And you know what? It's happening. Who was crazy? Me. Who was just right too early? Also me. So you gotta just follow it. Who gives a fuck what people say? You should want them to call you crazy. That means you're doing something right. If they're not calling you crazy, you're playing it way too safe. You're sleeping on yourself. Your self love is not as high as it could be. If you are, let's say you're in career and let's say you want to start your own business or you're running your own business and you are upset because you post, you know, every day, but nobody is buying what you're selling. I want you to ask yourself, have I done everything there is to do? Have I implemented every single thing there is to fucking implement? Have I accessed every single creator field ingredient there is to access? If the answer is no, then there's more things to implement and do. The answer is never let me give up or it's not working. The answer is always how can I make this work? What more things do I need? What resources do I need? What tools do I need? What do I need to learn? Maybe you don't know what it is what you need to learn. Maybe you just feel pulled a certain way. Are you going to follow that pull? You have to commit to following the pull. Let's say you are in a relationship and you're like, I just don't feel like it's the best relationship I've ever been in, so I feel like it's good. Like that's cool. But there's just something like I feel a pull to like want to connect to them deeper. But it's fine. Like I'm just we're comfy here. I'm just going to wait. You're not committing to that pull. When we commit to the pull, our life gets 1,000 times better. Is relationship work easy? Absolutely not. Me and Justin have relationship meetings every week, and every week we're in some kind of trigger about something during our relationship meetings. But every week it gets a little bit better and better because we address it and we work through it within our own selves. It sounds a little something like, I felt like you were being this way, and I'm being this way toward myself with this. And he's like, I felt like you were being this way, and I'm being this way toward myself with this. And is it annoying and triggering and like probably not what I want to be doing on a Wednesday night all the time? I'd rather be watching Ginny and Georgia right now. Such a good show. So good. Don't even get me started. Anyway, I'd rather be watching that or, my Dallas Cowboy cheerleader season 2, right? But no, I want to be elite. I want to be the best at being me in this relationship. I want to be the best of the best that I can access in this relationship. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to do what's hard to then eventually, make my life easier, right? Because it's kind of like also hard to just hold what you want inside and just hold your own shit inside in relationship too. Like it's equally as hard as saying it. But except when you say it, it's hard for like 10 minutes and then it's easier. Or it's hard for like your whole life while you're holding it in, right? Gonna have to watch now. Yes. Ginny and Georgia, you guys, if you haven't watched it, I don't even know what to tell you. You've got to watch it. It's so good. The Whoever had the idea of that show, there's just certain shows where I'm like, wow, that's genius, you know? And I'm a really hard critic with shows. Like Schitt's Creek, also genius to me. Money Heist, oh my God, Money Heist. I wish I could unwatch it and rewatch it. Like I've watched that 3 times through already. It's so good. And I wish I could like unwatch it so I could rewatch it. So good. Anyway, anyway, if you couldn't say without hesitation that you are special in 1 in 8 billion people, there is somewhere, somehow, you are sleeping on yourself, and the self love is not as high as it could be there. And if you want to be great, you've got to coach yourself or find someone who will coach you in a way to make you great. My dance teacher growing up kind of ignored me for a long time until I got like pretty good. And then when I got good is when she started like being really hard on me, right? Because she started to see my potential. And she was like, oh my God, wait, I can make this girl even better. And so like if I was doing like an aerial and I like didn't land it or like my arm went down during the dance when we were practicing, she would stop the fucking music and be like, sorry, gotta start over because Allie missed her aerial. Even though everyone always missed their fucking aerial, when Allie missed her aerial, the music got stopped and we had to redo it and it was announced to everyone. That made me so much better. You've got to coach yourself with love of I love myself so much that I know I'm better, that I know that I can be the best. And it's not turning on yourself of I shouldn't have done it that way. It's not doing that. It's going how I did this was perfect because it's how I knew to do it at the time. And I there's a pull that I can do even more with this. Let's follow that. Let's implement that and let's add it in. So I want to make that clear. It's not about like shaming or blaming like how you did something or like turning on yourself. Don't do that. I've turned on myself many times. It does not create fun creator field things. Other people turn on you. Don't do that. I recently had that happen actually. Anyway, different time for a different day. So it's not about turning on yourself of like, oh, I should have done it better. I should have known better. No, you knew the best of what you knew in that moment. And you have a pull, you have a knowing that I can make this even better. I have the potential to make this even better. What do I need to add in or subtract or implement or physically do or believe? Or what course do I need to take or what tool do I need to implement to actually make that happen? Self love and self respect isn't just accepting where, sorry, choking on air. Self love and self respect isn't just accepting where you are at in life, it is pushing yourself to being the best. It's pushing yourself to see just how special and unique and 1 in 8 billion people you are. You are 1 in 8 billion people, and you're special and unique, and no one else is you. Nobody else is you. You're the best at being you, right? Jonna's the best at being Jonna. Emma's the best at being Emma. Michaela's the best at being Michaela. There's no, like, you can't compare, like, their soul makeup is all different. Everyone's soul makeup is all different. So you need to start to see the uniqueness and specialness in that. And here's a fun ingredient for you that I'll give on the podcast is you have to start to feel like I am the secret ingredient to what people need. It can only be gotten from me. Like, no, I am the secret ingredient to what people need. It can only be gotten from me. Basically, like, nobody else is more perfect for this situation, for this thing, for this person, for this brand, for this to pay or whatever, other than me. And the goal is to spend your life, literally, unlocking, chipping away at new potentials. When you have that level of commitment, it's not about getting there because, again, every day in every area I could pinpoint somewhere where I'm sleeping on myself. And I tend to consider myself a highly motivated, highly driven person, and I'm still finding ways all the time how I'm sleeping on myself. It's not about getting to like never sleeping on myself 100%, not doing it in every area, but it's about every day how can I unlock a new little potential. You don't need to like just accept where you're at and then just like stay there. What you do need to do is see the perfection in where you're at and how it's helping you unlock new potentials and then follow the pull to unlock those potentials. All while understanding that we also have to earn our right for things. There's a lot of spiritual people who are like, sorry, I'm talking a lot, I'm joking on air. There's a lot of spiritual people who are like, you're just deserving of money because you are, or you're just deserving of the career you want because you are. Like, yes, you're deserving of the best, but you also have to like earn your right to get that. It's like a guaranteed possibility that you get the best. It's guaranteed, like in your soul makeup, that you can have the best of the best for you. But the possibility part comes from, are you going to take the action to do that? Just like to be a lawyer, you have to earn your right to be a lawyer. Like you got to do a lot of internships for free. You got to do a lot of like lower paid shit. You got to do a lot of learning. You got to take a lot of tests and pass them. Whatever you, there's like this sense of entitlement that has been programmed onto like a lot of the world, and especially Gen Z has it really bad, like the not their fault, but the programming that's gotten like put into their brain of just like you just deserve things just because you like tried for 2 minutes, you know? And it's kind of because they were literally raised in the everyone gets a gold medal era. Like everybody gets a gold medal. And while like that's great because it trains people to be proud of themselves, it's actually not helpful because you're not training them to push themselves to access new potentials because there's no reason for them to because they get a gold medal anyway. They get the reward anyway. They get the thing they want anyway. So it's, but we're also not going like in the hustle way, like feel bad about yourself and just keep going until you feel better. Not that. It's seeing how it's perfect, seeing how your current situation, your current body, your current financial situation, your current career, your current relationship is perfect, but in a way of how it's perfect because it's helping you get to the next levels, right? If in the past, like in earlier years, if I would launch a course and two people would sign up, I would have to see how that's perfect, but then also not settle for just two people signing up, right? Oh my God, this is perfect because it's showing me I'm missing ingredients. It's showing me I can market this better. It's showing me I can do this. It's showing me this here. Oh my gosh, if I would have done this and 10,000 people would have showed up, I wouldn't have been ready. I don't know how to talk to 10,000 people at one time. Like I need to practice talking to two. So many people want to go out the gates and like have 10,000 people sign up for something when they haven't even practiced how to talk to 10, right? Or like when I come out the gates as a healer and just not surpass one-on-one sessions and just teach a bunch of courses and then go lay on the beach when they haven't built trust or they haven't even learned what the teaching courses because they haven't done one-on-one sessions to see the pattern that their audience or community has that they can go make a course about eventually. So we do need to earn our right to get what our soul has potential to get, yes, but it's only a possibility if we get that based on if we as a human, we're a human in a physical world in a human body, we need to do the action things and do the ingredient things and implement all of those things to get what we are wanting. Just hoping it happens or waiting for it to happen or like not having a set kind of plan on how to follow your pull is not going to get you where you want. And it is not a thing you want in your creator field. You do not want low levels of commitment or respect for yourself in your creator field. It will cause people to disrespect you. It will cause people to not want to commit to you. In relationships, it will look like people ghosting you. It will look like people always being emotionally unavailable. It will look like your partner who you've been married to for 20 years not paying any attention to you. It will look like people cheating on you. It will look like people not wanting to commit to spending time with you. In business, it will look like people going to buy whatever someone else is selling over yours. They're not going to want to commit to what you're selling. People dropping out of your things, people returning whatever it is they bought. In career, in if you have a boss or work for someone else, it will look like them picking other people over you to get the job done or to do the thing you wanted or to give the raise. In health, it will look like, you know, gaining or losing weight or whatever it is that like is unhealthy for you to be doing. It will look like putting not the best of the best foods in your body for yourself. And the more you do that, the more life is not going to commit to you in every single area. So pick one area of your life and start to think about how can I start to push myself more here. Career, I love that. I'm sure it's career for a lot of people in here. Because you've been just group mind virused and you've been taught that Amazon gets here in 2 days. Buy my course, you'll be a millionaire in 3 months. Do this 3-step manifestation, you'll manifest whatever you want in 2 days. And you've just been fed that. And then when it doesn't happen, you blame yourself of like, oh, I guess it's not for me. Then you just start to accept where you are and not do any steps from there. Remember, the formula is find the perfection in where you are and also know that you are capable of way more. And how is the current situation of where you are helping you get there? It is the ultimate self-love. People love to like come to courses and do the tools for a week and go, it didn't work. I'm like, oh, okay. How long did you do it for? And they're like, a week. And I'm like, oh, okay. If you go do abs for a week, are you going to have a 12 pack in a week? No. If you go do abs for a year, you're going to have a 12 pack in a year? Maybe fucking not. It might take 2-3 years to create a solid committed 12 pack that doesn't go anywhere randomly, right? I've been doing this I've been working out. I've been doing weightlifting too. And my weightlifting trainer takes like every 8 weeks, she takes photos. And I was like crashing out and showing Emma and COO Sarah the photos when they were here the other day. Because I was like, I barely look any different. I'm like, I've been doing this for 8 weeks. And I'm like, oh my God, Allie, you've been doing it for 8 weeks. Like, of course, you've been weightlifting for 8 weeks. So you're not going to look that much different. And my arms even look drastically different. And my waist actually looks drastically different. And things actually look different. But I was so like in a crash out of how I just didn't look completely like a whole different fucking like person who just is so sculpted from my 8 weeks of weightlifting that I couldn't even see and notice the little differences. And so what happens is when you do that, you can't even see and notice the little differences. And then you're like, oh, fuck it, it doesn't work. On to the next thing. Let me just go do this workout now and see if that works, you know? And now, yes, there's little tweaks you can make. Like I went with my intuition. I was like, okay, is there anything that I can do more of? And I was like, oh, I have to slow down my reps. Like the reps are too fast. I've got to slow down the reps. And that's where intuition can be really helpful and come into play. And Emma does have a new intuition level 1 that's opened up. So that will help too. But even if you haven't trained your intuition, you should still stay committed to the thing. But if you have trained your intuition, you can go, okay, like, is it the actual thing? No, okay, it's not that. Oh, is it the amount of reps? Oh, I could do like more reps and like just longer drawn out ones. And that will take my results faster, quicker. But what happens is people just sleep on themselves. They go 8 weeks of this. I don't see changes, even though there were changes, they're just small, but you're like ignoring those because you don't see like this big, massive fucking change in 2 minutes. I'm done. Abandon ship. Who here has done that with fitness or workouts? You're like, ah, this is just how my body is. This is just how it is. I'm just going to accept it. It's perfect how it is. And also, you're capable of having the perfect healthy body, like the actual source, like in your soul's blueprint, the perfect body for you. And it's your job to not sleep on yourself because you're the only one who can make that happen. You're not going to magically just, get it. So it's very easy to do this. I do it all the time. And yeah, and I'm really vigilant of doing it and catching myself, but I still do it all the time. But especially too in career, people don't understand that you have to put in the work. You've got to put in the commitment. You've got to actually try your hardest and follow the polls and learn new things and implement them. Like I think of COO Sarah. She's so fucking good at what she does. She's like her COO abilities are like through the roof, like 99% like abilities of like out of all the COOs in the world, like she has 99% abilities as a COO. She doesn't have that because she just got handed things. She has that because when she just got out of college, I think it was, she got a job and she was working from like and putting in so much effort from like 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. She wasn't getting paid for all of those hours. She was getting paid for her 9 to 5, but she was putting in all of this extra work because she wanted to, because she saw the long-term benefits. She didn't need someone to like give her money to motivate her. She motivated herself and she saw the long-term benefits of doing that. And now she makes really, really incredible money and will continue to make even more and more and more. And is in a position where she truly loves what she does because no one handed her things. But you've got to undo that program and you've got to realize like to earn your right to get whatever it is you want, it is hard work. You do have to put work in. Like the spiritual world saying it doesn't have to be hard. It is. The higher self path is the hardest path. Maybe they can sell their courses like that. Maybe they want to sell their courses by saying it's not hard. Good for them. They can do that. I'm not going to lie to you. If I lose sales on my courses, it is what it is, but I'm not going to lie to you about it. Like it is hard and it is dedication. And if you've been in any of my courses and you've dropped the ingredients, it probably stopped working because you've got to keep up with the ingredients. Like it's not the tools that are special, it's you that makes the tools special. It's your effort you put into the tools that make the tools work. I know many, many people who have learned the same tools from me, from the same mentor at the same exact time, and are doing nothing with them. Nothing. It's not the tools, it's you that make the tools special and that make the tools work. It's your special and uniqueness. It's your commitment to yourself. It's your refusing to just settle, seeing the perfection in where you're at, but not settling there. Okay, that's my TED talk. I could go on, but we'll keep it at 1 minute, 1 hour and 8 minutes. Okay. We are going to kind of continue this topic in the next episode, but we're kind of going to go in more into the realizing how fucking special you are and some tools to do that and some ways to do that. But first something to take away here is what is the first thing you can think of when I say, where have you been sleeping on yourself? What's the first thing you can think of? And I want you to start to dive into that and really sit with that pull. Like, okay, what do I actually feel pulled to do to really elevate this area of life? Like, what pull do I have that I need to do right now? I had a client who ended up losing like 150 pounds. I'm so proud of her. I literally told her, I said, even if you don't go inside the gym, you've just got to start driving to the gym. You've just got to start driving to the gym and sitting there in the car. And she did that for a while. She was so nervous going to the gym, but she drove to the gym and she just sat there and then she would drive home. And I got her in this pattern in for 2 weeks. She just drove to the gym, sat there, drove home. Drove to the gym, sat there, drove home. And eventually she went into the gym, right? She didn't get defeated well, she wanted to, but she didn't get defeated and say, I can't go in. She just kept driving there until eventually she was so tired of fucking driving there to do nothing that she finally just went in. And that's what you have to do. You just gotta fucking do it until you're so tired of just not doing it that you just do it. And this is happening to me a little bit in my passion hobby area of life because I have had this idea and I really, really, really want to create cute clothes that are non-toxic. There's non-toxic clothes out there, but they're all fucking ugly. They're like, I'm sorry, they're ugly. Sorry, but they are. And the only cute clothes you can find are toxic as fuck ones. So I said, fuck this. I'm doing it. And then what happened was we got our merch back and the merch was so fucking ugly. You know how I said we're doing merch? We're not because it's so ugly. I can't sell you that. It's so horrible. I can't have my name on this ugly ass merch. Even the phone cases are so bad. I have it on my phone right now and I like can't even look at it. Anyway, so I was like, fuck this. We're not doing merch. I'm just making my own fucking clothing line. That's it. So anyway, I'm like, okay, how the fuck do I even begin to make my own clothing line? And I'm working with my teacher. I don't even say anything about this. And all of a sudden he just goes, you need to get a sewing machine. And I was like, what the fuck? That's the last thing I want to fucking do is get a sewing machine. I don't want to sew. And he's like, no, on a soul level, you want to sew. And I said, unfortunately, I can see how you're right. So, so my human self doesn't want to sew. Soul wants to sew. Anyway, I was like, oh my God, wait, this makes so much sense because I've been wanting to create this non-toxic clothing line and I want to make a prototype for it. And he's like, there we go. That's maybe why it's coming up. So anyway, I've been now this only happened like 2 hours ago, this session about the sewing, but I could have gone on Amazon already and ordered the sewing machine, but I have not gone on Amazon yet. And it's 2 hours later and I don't like that I'm doing that. So I need to order the sewing machine, but I'm already doing it. I'm already pushing away a potential like thing that could be really, really good for me. So, because I would rather just take my idea to someone who can already sew really fucking well and not have to learn to sew. But apparently, it'll be really helpful. And I see that very clear intuitively of how I need to do that and why. But already, see, I'm already doing it. I had this 2 hours ago. I still don't have a fucking sewing machine ordered. I'm already doing it. I want you to pay attention to all those little things you like, push off. And I'm going to go after this, order the fucking sewing machine. I'm going to sit my ass down. I'm going to hate it at first. I'm not going to like to sew at first because I'm going to suck at it. And it's going to be really bad. It's going to suck. But the more I do it, the better I'm going to get. And the better I'm going to get, and the better I'm going to get, I'm finally going to have a prototype. And then I can take that, I can give it to someone who's even better and who can actually make it happen. But I need to be hands-on doing it because I'm a psychopath. I can't have someone else go create it. I need to create it or else it's not going to be the best. I need to make it the best of the best. And the only way it's going to happen is if I am doing it and sewing it using my intuition to get the materials and make sure they're like clean and making it cute and the whole fucking 9 yards. So my point is I'm already pushing off something, right? But I notice I am. And so now I'm going to go order a sewing machine right after we get done here because I had 2 hours before we got on here to do it and I did not. Where are you sleeping on yourself? What area are you sleeping on yourself? And what are you going to do about it? I'm going to get the sewing machine and I'm going to sit my ass down and maybe I use it for 5 minutes one day, but at least I did it. Then maybe the next day it's 10. Maybe the next day it's 2 minutes because I fucking hate it. But then maybe I keep coming back and I keep sitting down and eventually I'm going to like it. When your ego doesn't want to do something, it's probably what you should be doing. 1000%. The things that feel really easy to go do probably like isn't what you should be doing. For a minute, why I blew up the business too is because for a minute it was like low key easy to like record a digital course and then just like put it out to the world and not have to like show up live. That's easy. Was I fulfilled? Absolutely not. Did I feel like I was missing everybody and you guys? Yes. Did I feel like I was doing my purpose? Absolutely not. I hated it. I was so bored. The harder thing is to put time in your schedule, show up, be on for like, you're not only channeling, but you're like performing. And then you're also making sure everyone's engaged. And if people aren't engaged, I'm making sure, okay, what can I say to get them to understand this? I'm doing 25,000 things when I'm live. It's the harder route to go, but it's the more fulfilling, more purposeful, more rewarding route. So, what is the thing that you are sleeping on yourself on right now? It could be as simple as not getting a sewing machine for 2 hours when you could have ordered one 2 hours ago. Or maybe it's a big thing. I don't know. But what is the first thing that comes to your mind? And what are you going to fucking do about it? How are you going to commit to it today? Whether it's watch a YouTube video, whether it's get inside a course, whether it's go on a walk, whatever it is, whether it's go buy organic healthy food, like what are you going to do about it today? Because people like to be like, oh, organic food's so expensive, but then you look at their credit card bill and you see like that they're, going out to eat buying 10 margaritas on the weekend. Well, okay. You can take that money that you bought 10 margaritas on the weekend and go put it toward organic healthy food and you're spending the same amount of money. So our ego likes to find excuses, but it's just trying to find an excuse to keep us from our greatest potential. Anytime you start to find an excuse, like I was doing with the sewing machine, I'm like, I don't have time to sew. Sorry, my dogs are barking now at this truck. I'm like, I don't have time to sew. Like, I have so much going on. I'm live so much more now. Like, I don't want to sit down. I don't like to sit. I like to walk. I like to run. I like to be moving, be active. But I, that's excuses, right? But that's my ego trying to not lose its job. It's trying to keep me safe. So, anytime you find yourself making excuses, I want you to follow that vein and go, wait, is this actually why I can't do this? Or is this like an excuse? Anytime you have a pull and then you find an excuse why you can't do that pull, I want you to notice that excuse you're saying. And is it actually real? Or is it like something you've just decided that you can't do it because now your ego is trying to like keep you from your greatest potential? Our ego loves to keep us from our greatest potential. Okay. That is my TED Talk today on self-love. And remember, if you're only prioritizing yourself 12%, that is the highest that other people can prioritize you. If you're only committing to yourself 7%, that is the highest that other people can commit to you. So what are you going to do about it? And this podcast is great to listen to and get hyped about, but the real work is what you do after it. The real work is what action you take after it. And it's not going to always be fun and it will be hard. I'm sorry, but it will. But the highest self path is the hardest path, but it's the most rewarding, most fulfilling path. And once you're on it, it's like a game. So it doesn't really feel hard anymore. It just feels like a game and fun. Okay. As you know, and as I've said, intuition level 1 with Emma is now reopen. Get in there. The spots fill up quick. Last time they filled up in like literally 2 minutes. Like I'm not even exaggerating, 2 minutes of the email going out. So they fill up quick. If you want to get in there, get in there. And Jonna is now teaching level 3. So if you were in level 1 and 2, level 3 is available for you. You get to see me in level 4 and 5. I'm there live with you for the Q&As, which will be so fun. And I will see you in the next episode. We are now going to get into a Q&A with the membership queens. If you feel FOMO of that, you can sign up for the membership anytime and you can cancel anytime. Okay, I will see you next week. Bye.